Welcome back. I'm your host, Darnell Jackson. In this crypto report, we're going to be talking about Vitalik Buterin. But before we do, make sure you subscribe to your favorite channel on YouTube, Darnell Jackson Crypto. All right, let's jump over to the agenda. Shout out to all the subscribers. We're talking about Vitalik Buterin and his comments at the Ethereum Community Conference, the EthCC. He said ETH has to do more than DeFi. Now, if you're not familiar, Vitalik Buterin is the co-founder of Ethereum. We're going to be taking a look at this important information, the headlines. We're going to be looking at some video of Vitalik, and I'll be responding with my opinion, and we'll take a look at the market. Let's jump over to the tweet from the EthCC. This is the largest annual European Ethereum gathering organized by Ethereum France. You can get this information on their Twitter account. And what we're going to be talking about is the presentation which was most anticipated by Vitalik Buterin. We're going to be talking about some of his comments which made the news and are very important, especially when you're talking about the direction that this huge cryptocurrency is headed. Let's take a look at some of the headlines. Vitalik is getting coverage here on Decrypt. The founder of Ethereum has high hopes for the network's uses for social good that go way beyond the fast financial gains of DeFi investing. This article by Ben Munster. And he's saying, in this image there is Vitalik speaking on stage. We're going to get to that video here. Sit tight for a second. He's talking about Ethereum needs to look beyond the wild speculative financial movement known as DeFi. And I'm going to disagree with Vitalik and explain why just a little bit after I show you the video. This is the article from Decrypt talking about his comments, and you can check that out on Decrypt. What I want you to do is view the video, and we're going to have a little bit of a discussion about some of the points that Vitalik made. Let's jump over to the video of his presentation at EthCC. I'm going to jump up to 12.
There. So Ethereum being defined by DeFi is better than Ethereum being defined by nothing, but it's time to go further. But where do we go? So I think the goals that we're looking at, right, is so there's a lot of things that people want to do, but it's also important to kind of think through, what are some of the things that are both valuable potentially and that might be interesting to focus on in the very near term. And I think the two goals that we have to meet, one is alignment with values. So it must be something that people in the community, at least enough people in the community to build a thing, can actually get behind doing. And alignment with needs. It needs to be something that is useful for people to do. So what do we have? So here's what we have already, right? We have NFTs. So this year has been a year of NFTs. It's, there's been a lot of these NFTs. There's been all sorts of celebrities launching NFTs, or at least talking about NFTs.
And so he's talking about what would be the next ideas after DeFi, just to give you a little bit of reference. And I'm going to skip ahead a little bit.
Controller, and there are identifiers that people actually want to, yay, Gmail Pride. This that does not exist for some reason. But the reason why you can say what we have already is just NFTs, and NFTs are so amazing, is because technically ENS names are NFTs. But hopefully we'll have more and kind of more interesting types of NFTs in the future as well. So what else can we have, right? So here's one interesting category that I personally care about. Building out the Ethereum social media ecosystem. So
Okay, so now when he's talking about Ethereum needs to do more than DeFi, this is what he's getting to in this part of the presentation.
Why
he's
social media, right? Like, why is social media like such an interesting thing to focus on? Look, first of all, I'm not the only one saying this, right? Like, right preceding me, there was this lovely Claro's presentation and talking about like using the decentralized court to do moderation. There was like Stani was, I think, announced that he was interested in like building some kind of Ethereum-based Twitter. So other people are also thinking this, right? But like, why? Like, what's interesting about crypto social media? So first of all, there's a widespread belief that existing social media platforms suck and that we need better ones. And this is true for different reasons. So one is centralized and arbitrary censorship and manipulation. Don't have to explain that one, hopefully. Low quality of discourse. Also don't have to explain that one. And of course, like the concept of engagement and the kinds of engagement that are favored are very misaligned with quality.
Okay, so he's talking about how he wants social media to be the focus after DeFi for Ethereum, which is definitely much different than you may have expected. I want to bring your attention to another perspective, and I want you to consider the history of the currency that cryptocurrency is seeking to replace. Remember, the US dollar itself had to go through some stages of development. And one of the things I want to bring out is the fact that DeFi, the function of finance, or the concept of a loan and a debt, is an extremely powerful and fundamental function of the currency. The United States currency, once it reached that point, this was critical, and this was the piece of the pie that was not there before. The idea that a banker could offer you something called interest, and this is what changed things. Let me just show you what I'm talking about. If you take a look at the United States currency, which you see an image here on your screen, this is when the United States currency was on the dollar standard. My face wasn't there, but it says right on the note that it's a note, United States note. Note means that this was money that was on a loan. So so what are the terms? It says it right on it. It says it will pay to the bearer on demand $1. And it was this that allowed the currency to take off. People knew that if they had one of these notes, it was the United States who owed them something. So people wanted to put themselves in a position where they were owed something from the United States. So they wanted to accept these US notes more than they did any other exchange for their goods and services. So this is why I disagree with Vitalik when he says that DeFi is not enough and that Ethereum needs to do more and move beyond DeFi. He made some jokes with the audience in this presentation. He said that being defined by DeFi is better than being defined by nothing. But he says it needs to go further. I'm here to tell you that was the original purpose of the currency to begin with, which was to deliver on the loan that the US government was making to the bearer holder. And this function has not changed, especially when you look at the real hardcore economics of what's going on. We're not going to get into all of that, but just from a fundamental standpoint, there has always been this situation of debt as it relates to currency, and this is the actual gold-backed U.S. currency. So there is always going to be confusion when you discuss what money is. What actually is money? The Peter Schiffs will say that it's gold. Before you knew it, they were issuing these gold-backed notes, which the idea that these were as good as the gold. But in fact, we know now, looking at it, that it's actually a loan. So this is what makes DeFi so important, is the income. It's the fact that people have a chance to earn money from their money. This is the most this was the most powerful dynamic that made people start trusting the bankers to begin with. Why else would I accept their offer unless I was interested in their concept of interest? And so this worked on the original currency, and it's going to work on the new cryptocurrency as well. Vitalik talks about the degens can pay for it, the apes can pay for it, the orangutans can pay for it. He was talking about the expensive gas fees that are related to Ethereum. However, this functionality is what is taking things to the next level, allowing people to not only transfer money, but also to do direct loans and return and earn an interest rate return for their money through lending and through liquidity pools and through staking. So Vitalik's talking about social media, which I can understand. Practically, attention and content is in a lot of ways almost as good as cash these days. I still believe that ultimately the ability to make loans to any ETH address is extremely powerful. This allows and enables people all over the world to have access to the worldwide financial system. So this alone, if this is all ETH does, it's really going to be enough. So now what I want to do is take a look at the market. Ethereum has been responding ever since last week, where it took a dive. So let's take a look at where it is now. It's getting back up. It was as low as 17,000, and this is the 1 month view. I'm sorry, 1,700. Just a week ago, it was up 19, down to 17, and now it's back up. Went over 2,000, and then it's back settled around 1975. So that's my take on today's video. I want to thank you for liking this video. If you didn't like this video, make sure you check out my other videos. I got tons of videos that come out daily, and I'm sure if you watch like half of them, you'll like one. But if you watch half of the videos and you don't like none, then share them with somebody who will. Until the next time, thank you for checking this out. Peace.